Hello, creators and wannabes, and welcome back to another episode of The Business of Art, the podcast that attempts to demystify art for businessmen and business for artists, but we've probably given up on that demystifying art for businessmen part. So this is one of our mini-season episodes. This is episode 2 of our launch to Kickstarter. And right now we're 1 week out, and we are going to run these every single week until the Kickstarter is over, and even a little bit after, because we're going to do a wrap-up. Let's talk about what's happened since last time. And I'm going to compare this time Kickstarter to last Kickstarter we did just a couple months ago. So last time we did a Kickstarter, I started out with 1,500 Facebook friends and about the same amount of Twitter followers. We started with about 1,100 people on our mailing list. We've got about 1,500 people now. The last Kickstarter we ran, I was able to invite everybody through Facebook events. By the end, we had about 3,200 people on our Facebook page. So we had a lot of people on our event page, and still were able to very successfully do everything we needed to do on Facebook. Since then, I have tried multiple times to do Kickstarter events through Facebook and have been blocked each time. I get about 1 or 2 events done, so about 800 to 1,000 people, and Facebook says, you're inviting too many people, you've been blocked from using this feature. I don't know why that's happening. I have some theories about me being a lot bigger now and them being more scrutinizing of me, and a whole bunch of things that are making it just harder for people that have a lot of people on Facebook to do their events. So we offloaded everything and all of the emails and all of our emails, and we invited everyone through Evite instead. It's a lot different because I don't have access to exactly how many people have invited. Every minute of the day, I have to actually log into Evite. I can't just update the invite without sending them a new email. So things are going to be a lot different this time than they were last time. And we're just hoping and praying that we're still going to be able to get the engagement that we did in our last campaign. However, if you don't have 4,000 people and you're just doing it yourself, still Facebook events are fantastic. I have a friend who's doing a Facebook event, and he said he's got about 2,000 friends and had no problem inviting everybody that he wanted. So that's how me right now am different from even where I was a couple of months ago. Second thing that we've been doing since last time, we've really been doing it consistently throughout the past month and a half, but we've been running Facebook ads. We are targeting goth subcultures and punk subcultures and emo subcultures, people that like books, and making sure that they know about what we're doing. We set up a landing page to collect email addresses. When we're running them pretty well, we see 3 to 5 people sign up a day on a $5 budget a day. So that's pretty good. We pay about $1.25 per person that signs up for our mailing list. We're doing a free book giveaway, so just signing up for a mailing list doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but we are going to transition that into going to our Kickstarter page, and we're going to get a lot more information because we're going to see exactly how much money it costs to convert. Previously, even when we did our second campaign, we didn't do that much tracking. We're a lot more about tracking and analytics now, which I think happens when you get a little bit more mature in your business. What we're going to start doing now that we're a week out is we're going to start IMing everybody specifically who backed the campaign last time and the one who backed the Ichabod campaign. We're hoping we can get a lot of people that backed one of our campaigns, some of the people that bought the book previously, and expand our scope going back all the way to Ichabod. And there was a good transition. There's about 50 to 60% of people went from the first campaign to the second campaign. We're hoping that 50% of people, 60% of people, or even more go from the second campaign to our third campaign. I will say that we are very, very, very nervous because we just ran a campaign a couple of months ago. Our campaign ended in October. It is now January, and we're already launching our next campaign. Now, why we're doing that is we are testing whether all of our marketing is going to work to keep it in people's brains that we deliver good product and we are a good company to continue to invest your money into. When we sent out our last Kickstarter, we put a little postcard insert with the website and all the information about My Father Didn't Kill Himself. when it would launch. And we're hoping that that's going to translate to people buying the book on day one. Remember, the most important part of the entire scenario that we're talking about is people buying your book on day one. If they do not buy your book on day one, you're going to have a much harder row to hoe. All of this pre-work is literally just to make sure you build enough momentum so that the first part of your campaign is the best and most effective possible. It gets the most backers, because you are going to get a lull in the middle, and you want to make sure that you have enough people talking about it at the beginning to survive that lull, and so you can pick it up at the end. You absolutely do not want to be in a scenario where you get no backers the first couple of days or very few backers and then continue that trend. You will get very few backers for the rest of your campaign. It's all predicated on what you get in the first 24 to 48 hours. So our goal is $8,000. We are looking to raise roughly $3,000 that first day. I know what you guys are thinking. Comparatively, most Kickstarters are going for less than a $3,000 goal. The average Kickstarter is about $2,500 is what they raise. We're going for 3 times that. So we're looking to raise what most people raise in an entire Kickstarter campaign in one day. And we're trying to do that while transitioning from just doing comics to also doing novels and expanding our brand. We're doing that by changing a lot of things. So there's some things that are going to change in this Kickstarter campaign. The first is I physically can't do 12 hours a day only on this product like I have for our last 2 campaigns. I physically will fall apart, especially now that I have Kickstarter University. I have this podcast. I'm going to a lot more shows. I have to take care of myself better. So I physically can't do what I was doing the last campaign. So we're very much trying to make sure that we can sustain a level of business. These are passion projects for me still, every single one of them, but we can't think of them in the way that we've been thinking about them before. We have to be able to maintain our ability to do other business, like develop our other projects, go to other shows, deliver this podcast to people, deliver a Kickstarter University and be able to do those courses and be able to do our consulting. Everything else, we have to be able to do that while running this campaign. We are nervous about going for that high a goal. That being said, let me tell you why we're still going for that high a goal. And we cut it back. It was originally $10,000. And the reason that we cut back to $8,000 was because a lot of people have been telling me that's way too much for a novel. It's way too much for a novel. You're never going to raise that amount for a first-time novelist, and people aren't going to come and follow you to this new platform from comics to books. This is something that made us take pause last campaign because we wanted to go for a $15,000 goal. And we are very confident that if we had gone for a $10,000 goal, we'd have made $10,000 or $12,000. But instead, we did $5,000. And $5,000 wasn't enough to really move the needle on our year or on our production. Thank God we got almost $9,000 because that got us very close to what we needed to close out the year. And then going to a bunch more shows, ramping up our shows and doing all that stuff filled the rest of that gap. We didn't want to do a $2,000, $3,000 or even $5,000 goal because we need to raise another $10,000. When we do this, we raise money for doing everything from covering the editing costs, covering the print run, covering the cover costs and everything that we've put into this point, and then marketing it moving forward, not just during the Kickstarter campaign, because we need to go to a lot of shows, we need to grow, we need to get all of these things to people and get it into more people's hands. So when we do our Kickstarter after that, we have a bigger reach. It's not easy to fathom doing a novel and asking for $8,000 for it because it's just words. It's not pictures. It's not a video. People think in their brain that, oh, well, that is just words, that it can't take that much to publish or produce. And on some level, it's less expensive than hiring an artist, but it's also much more time intensive. For me, I spend 50 times more on a novel because I have to craft and do everything for every single word. I'm not hiring out an artist. An editor, much more labor intensive. I didn't have to have an editor on Katrina or Ichabod, even though we had, some editorial help. I was able to just get away with having people look at the book, and a lot of people who love comics look at the book. But for this, I had to hire an editor. Proofreaders are not inexpensive. Getting things pre-pressed, and all of those things are expensive, and those are costs we have already incurred. On top of that, marketing is not inexpensive. And we want to market the heck out of this. We want everybody to know how awesome it is, which means going to shows. We're going to the Los Angeles Festival of Books. We're splitting it, but that's still a $525 table fee without any printing or anything else. We're going to San Diego. We're going to WonderCon, which is 2 weeks before Los Angeles Festival of Books. We are going to a bunch more shows. We're going to a bunch more bookstores. That is why we're going for $8,000. But trust me, $8,000 is still lower than what we need. We need about $15,000 to do this right. We would like to do even more editing. We'd like to translate the book into other languages. We'd like to have some other people do sketches and maybe do some variant covers, which is something in comics, but you don't see in books a lot. We'd like to do hand-bound books, potentially, journals, because the book's about like blogging and journaling and all of that great stuff. So we are not even close with $8,000. That will get us maybe halfway to the goal of doing this right. If we do 8, we can potentially get to 10. Then we're doing pretty well. And we're going to take a little bit of a break from Kickstarter until the end of the year and focus on doing Kickstarter University. We were going to wait until March or April in order to do this Kickstarter. However, we had to pull it forward because the Los Angeles Festival of Books is in April, and we decided to go to that. So we need to get it done, ready, in the can, everything prepped, and then we need to get it printed so that we can go to the Los Angeles Festival of Books with everything done. So that's what we're going to now. That's where we stand right now. We are sending out IMs and messages and calling people who backed previously and making sure they know that on the 20th, we need to do it all over again. And we are sending out evites because Facebook events is sort of blocking us from being able to do what we need to on Facebook. We've also been blocked from groups, Facebook groups, because we're posting too much on groups. Again, these are things that didn't happen when I had a couple thousand friends. When I got a bunch more, suddenly they were very interested in blocking me from doing things. That's where we stand now. I hope you guys learned something. I know this is kind of just a ramble mini season where I talk about what's going on and how things are different, but I hope you're learning something from it. If you are, please let me know by going to Kickstarter University and emailing me, or wannabepress.com and emailing me. Please do remember to go to Kickstarter on Wednesday, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and donate to the campaign. Please donate to the campaign. If you love what we do here, if you love all the free content that we provide, all of this is being financed by what we're doing on Kickstarter and what we're doing by getting the books. All of this is funneling all together. So please do consider supporting, and we'll be back with Bob Sally, who is doing the Salvagers Kickstarter. And thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.